Now I got another fun pattern for you today, folks. This is another one from Bruce Staples' Trout Country Flies. This one is called the Jungle Cock Adams. So for any of y'all who have a jungle cock cape and it's really getting down to the scraggly nails, you don't have a lot of good ones left, and you're wondering what can you do with all these other body feathers? You know, well, they do make pretty good streamer wings, but yeah, feather wing streamers are hard to tie. But you can also use it to tie this one. Now, if you don't have a jungle cock cape and you want to tie something like this, I think any small hen, any saddle from a hen that's going to have some wide feathers that are some different kind of color than, you know, standard Adams. But the rest of the materials are pretty much the same as Adams, the tail, body, and then the front hackle. Now, this one was created by Pat Barnes in the 1960s, a full 30 years before Vanilla Ice created his masterpiece. But in the end, is this thing going to be really more effective than a standard Adams? You know, I don't know. It could be. You never know what fish are going to be keying on any given day. But either way, it is a pretty fun one to tie. So there it is in the vise, a Jungle Cock Adams, which looks pretty similar to a regular Adams, except for those big wide wings up there. Now I think good sizes for this would be 12 to 14. Probably wouldn't want to tie it much smaller than that because these wings are kind of big. That's a size 12, one extra long barbless dry fly hook. And I'm going to catch in some black thread somewhere up here in the first third. Now I'm just going to take a jungle cock, one of these body feathers here. Actually, I've got two of them here, and stripped off a lot of the barbs, just leaving about the length I want. And the length, I would say, a little bit longer than what our hackle is going to be. And these spun around on me. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to catch them in because I can adjust them when I'm wrapping the hackle. So two kind of loose wraps right there. Just make sure they're on the top of the hook. You do have to be a little careful with these. They're not brittle, but the stems aren't very thick, so they will break on you if you're not careful. Now I'm going to put a few wraps in front of these. Try to prop them up about 90 degrees or so. Okay, that's sticking up how I want, but I want them split a little bit, so just pull them apart, and I'll put a couple of X wraps back to front on that side, and then front to back over here. Okay, take a look at that. Okay, I've got them split. That might be a little bit more than I want, but we can adjust that a little bit, make it a little bit more what we want when we're wrapping our hackle. Let's go ahead and take your thread to the back. I'm going to take some Grizzly hackle fibers, and I'd say a dozen or so. Let's catch them in. I want it to be pretty long. I mean, this is an Adams type mayfly, so let's catch that in and take a look. Okay, that's pretty long. They're kind of going all over the place on me, so take a few more wraps to gather them right there. Okay, I think that's going to be fine. Now I could snip those curlies up there, or just take a few wraps and bury them and leave my thread here toward the front of that tail, put a little wax on it. Now just snip a little bit of muskrat fur from a little patch here. Pull the guard hairs out, kind of rub it through your fingers a little bit, and then I'm going to dub a noodle on here. Maybe, since this is size 12, maybe I'll do 2.5, maybe 3 inches. All right, now we'll just dub this body till we get a little bit behind the wings up here. And now, just like the Adams, I'm going to catch in a Grizzly and brown dry fly hackle here. Let's see, and I want it, maybe I should have gone a little bit farther back behind these wings, because I want several wraps of this hackle behind them, and then also at least a couple of wraps up in front of them. Okay, so I've got my stem along the hook shank there. It's caught in with plenty of wraps. Snip that excess. Now I'm just going to wrap these one at a time. And what I was talking about, if you didn't get these wings perfect, you can sometimes use this hackle to help position them. So let's take our wraps here, 2 or 3 behind it, and then see what looks good in front of it. Okay, I think that's enough with the Grizzly. And now let's do the same thing with this brown. And I want this pretty heavily hackled. I'm envisioning this being a big floater through fast riffled water, maybe even a top fly to hang a nymph off of. Okay, I think that's plenty of hackle there. Let's catch this one off. Now I got a lot of fibers, barbs going forward, so I want to go ahead and snip a few of these before I work on my head. Okay, I think that's going to be fine. Let's pull these back, make a little flat area here for our whip finish. Now any cleanup? Yeah, it looks like I trapped a couple of barbs going forward here. Let's go ahead and snip these. Other than that, I think we're good. A little drop of head cement and this thing's good to go. That's it, my friends. I appreciate you watching. Y'all take care and we'll see you next time.